This is highwithoutcoke and welcome to another pathofexile video. Today I'm going to give you a full guide of the build that I have been playing since league start, and that is Chaos Blazing Salvo Totem Hierophant. With a budget of around 20 to 25 divines, I cleared all endgame contents except Ubers and got my Trial of the Ancestors up to ranking 900. If you want to know how I did Trial of the Ancestors with this build, you can check out my other video. I have the full strategy guide linked to the description below. Now let's jump right into the pros and cons. This build has decent boss damage. I was able to clear all non-Uber Pinnacle bosses very easily. For example, this fight with Maven was done very quickly and deathless. The clear speed is awesome, and the gameplay is very satisfying with all the projectiles fired. The totem playstyle offers an overall safe gameplay because you can be mobile all the time and off-screen enemies when needed. You are also unaffected by curses and shock while playing this build. The downside of this build is that it has very little evasion and no spell suppression. This build is not meant to be tanky, so dodging is going to be your main defense. Lastly, some people might not like the playstyle, as all the damage comes from the totems instead of you. How does this build do damage? This build has 5 totems which fire up to 13 projectiles each, dealing around 17 million guardian DPS. The high number of projectiles allows the totems to inflict 15 stacks of Wither easily with the use of a pair of unique gloves, increasing the chaos damage taken by enemies. To further boost the damage, this build uses 6 power charges, 4 frenzy charges, and Despair Curse. When you summon your totems, you gain Onslaught and Arcane Surge buff which increase cast speed. Self-Flagellation Jewel gives increased damage per curse on you. As for defense, this build uses 4 endurance charges, armor, and granite flask to reduce physical damage taken. Steel Skin is linked to cast when damage taken support to absorb some damage taken when hit. Might over Matter is used as another defensive layer to increase the EHP of this build. When hit, 40% of damage is taken from mana before life. You can then recover your life very quickly because this build has around 800 life regeneration. High regen also causes bleeding and ignite to be far less dangerous. This build is built around this dirt cheap unique dagger, Consuming Dark, which converts 30% of fire damage into chaos damage. By dual wielding this dagger, we can convert most of our fire damage into chaos damage. Soul Mantle is best in slot in terms of damage and totem survivability. Try to get one with decent spell damage, totem life, and of course the +2 gem level corrupted implicit for damage boost. As for helmet, the main reason I use Mind Spiral is because of the huge mana and mana recoup. Since this build uses Mind over Matter, Mind Spiral is very important for mana sustain because it allows us to recover some of the damage taken as mana. By using this helmet, we also gain a portion of our mana as extra energy shield. This is great because this build stacks a lot of mana. I got 400 extra energy shield using this helmet. The helmet enchant doesn't necessarily have to be Despair Curse effect. Blazing Salvo additional projectile and damage are strong options too. Abhorrent Interrogation allows totems to inflict Wither on hit. It feels better and faster when mapping because you don't have to cast Wither yourself. +1 maximum frenzy charges for extra damage against bosses. Kikazaro is mandatory to counter the side effect of wearing Soul Mantle. You can get the rest of reduced curse effect from Pantheon and passive tree. I got Despair Curse on hit on another ring. Life, resistances, and the cast speed is nice. I anointed my amulet with Ironwood to increase the totem survivability against bosses. Try to get one with +1 to skill jump level for more damage. Also life, attributes, and resistances. My belt and boots are mainly to get the attributes needed and cap my resistances. Of course, if you can get some damage mods, it's even better. I got the Brittle Ground Eldritch implicit for my boots to increase critical strike chance against enemies. These are the utility flasks I'm using. Dying Sun for 2 additional projectiles, Diamond Flask, Granite Flask, and Quicksilver Flask. I swap Dying Sun with Adversary's Promise if I need more chaos resistance. This is my setup for Blazing Salvo Totem. With level 4 and power support, we can get our Blazing Salvo skill gem to level 30. This build uses only one aura, Zealotry, and it is linked to Eternal Blessing so that we can free up our mana pools for Might over Matter mechanic. This trap setup is used to generate charges when fighting bosses. Movement skill, Steel Skin setup, Summon Stone Golem for life regeneration. I use Val Haste for instant damage boost against bosses. My Val Haste is only level 9 because I don't have enough dexterity. I use a large and medium cluster jewel for this build. Ancestral Inspiration for Arcane Surge buff. Sleepless Sentries is mandatory for Onslaught buff. The other node doesn't have to be Ancestral Echo. I got it because I prefer cast speed. There are 2 Lethal Pride you can use. They give the same damage. I have them listed in my POE link. Rain of Splinters for 2 additional projectiles. Combined with 9 from the level 30 skill gem and another 2 from Dying Sun, we get a total of 13 projectiles per totem. Self-Flagellation Jewel gives increased damage per curse on us. We usually have 8 or 9 curses on us most of the time, so a perfect roll would give us 180% increased damage. I got life and crit multiplier on my jewels. Also got reduced shock effect on one of them. Combined with Tattoo of Follicle Scout, I got more than 100 reduced shock effect. I use Ornate Tattoo of the Dove for chaos resistance. I took this wheel here for reduced curse effect. For Pantheon, I use Brine King for freeze avoidance and Yugo for reduced effect of curses. We have 120% reduced effect of curses in total, causing us to be unaffected by curses. This build is awesome for Trial of the Ancestors. This is because most of the time you just place the totems and then run around avoiding enemies. The totems will interrupt and fight the enemies for you. I farm a lot of blighted maps with this build. It feels nice to off-screen blight bosses and avoid getting hit. I also tried doing Expedition and Harvest and both were quite easy. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you like my content, please consider leaving a like or subscribing to my channel. I would greatly appreciate your support. Thank you and see you next time.